3, 2, 1, action!
Hi, this is Victoria Woelders, and I want to welcome you to another Empathy Tale. Today we are going to be sharing episode 11, The Daughters and the Dice. Well, today's story was originally shared on December 21st, 2018 to my kids in their beds late at night, and today's story is going to be centered around kindness. So have you ever forgotten to be kind to another person? Have you forgotten to choose kindness and you chose to be selfish instead? Well, today's story is about the daughters and the dice. And these three sisters choose to be unkind. However, there is one sister that does choose to be kind. Unfortunately, the three sisters that choose to be unkind, there are some repercussions. So today's story is a special story that hopefully will allow you to remember to be kind to others and to be compassionate. So while I'm sharing this story, think about how you can respond in the future to someone who asks for your help. Okay, are you ready? Are you comfortable? Then I'll begin. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there lived a family in the Oak and Eagle Kingdom. The family consisted of 4 daughters, and they lived in a cottage in the middle of the grasslands, in the land of the northern eagles. And there was no mother, because she had passed away several years ago. There was no father, because he unfortunately died in an accident many years ago. So the 4 girls had to fend for themselves. They ranged in age from 10 to 20. They each had very special, unique qualities. All 4 of them lived a life where they had to till the land, and they had to sow the seed, and they had to harvest the crop every year. Often, they depended on making sure that their livestock was well kept. The only thing was, out of the 4 girls, only one of them grew through empathy and through compassion. The other 3 became very selfish, and as they grew older over the years, their hearts hurt. Yet the youngest was the one who softened. Often there be many arguments about who should have feed for the livestock, or who should sow the seed, or who should harvest the grain. Most of the time, 3 of the 4 daughters would argue, and it was not a happy place to be. The last daughter, who was the 4th, had a kind and gentle heart and was always willing to help others out and talk to them. As they grew older, they still lived at home, and they all chose to not marry, but stay with their siblings. However, the 3 older sisters wanted more. They wanted riches. They wanted fame, and they wanted wealth. They became envious of those around them. One day, there was a knock at the door. There was a man at the door, and he looked at the 4 sisters and asked, "Would you please give me some money? I would like to buy some bread from the village, and I am a very poor man." This man was an old man. He looked like he had difficulty walking and breathing. Well, the first sister said, "I have money, but I'm not going to give you that money because I've worked hard for it." The second sister said, "There is no way I'm going to give you money. This money I'm going to use to pay for my clothes." And the third sister replied, "Yes, I am never even going to give you a single penny because you look so poor, and I don't give money to the poor." The fourth sister, the one full of empathy and compassion, went close to the old man and gave him every coin she had in her pocket. She said, "Here, old man, here's the money. I do not have much, but I am going to give you this money, and this money is meant for you." The old man smiled and said, "I am grateful." He turned around and left. After the door closed, the three eldest sisters became angry with each other. They started to notice that one of them had more money than the other. The fourth daughter just walked away, knowing she didn't have much money. But she knew that she made someone happy and chose to be kind with her heart. A couple weeks later, another man came to the door. Once again, another old man, and this man was wearing black. He had a hood over his head. This man said, "Hello, I am here and I need a glass of water. Would you be able to give me a glass of water?" The first sister said, "I'm sorry, but we don't have much water here, so I'm not going to be able to give you any water." The second sister said, "You know, I have some water, but I'm going to keep it for me." The third sister said, "Old man, you know where to get water. You can go all the way down past the pastures and go get some water from the lake. You can do that yourself." The fourth sister, the one filled with empathy and compassion, walked to the man and gave him her glass of water. He drank it, and he looked at her and said, "Because of your kindness, you will be gifted." The man turned around and left. Soon after that, the girls started arguing. The fourth sister walked away while the three eldest sisters started arguing about how much water they each had. Well, a couple weeks later went by, and a third man came knocking at the door. This man was wearing a gray cloak, and he said, "Hello, I am here. You do not know me, but I am impoverished, and I need some new shoes. Would you be able to give me some shoes?" Well, the first sister said, "I don't think so. We might have our father's old shoes, but I don't want to give them away." The second sister said, "I do have some money for you to get new boots, but I'm not going to give it to you." The third sister said, "You all need to go to the village and maybe go to the church. Maybe the church will be able to give you shoes, old man." Well, the fourth sister knew that her father had given her a pair of his shoes for safekeeping, so she went and found them under her bed. She said, "I know you have smaller feet, yet I think you can use my father's shoes." He looked at her and said, "I am very grateful. Thank you so much for these shoes. You will be rewarded. You have a giving heart. Your heart is like water to my soul, and I am grateful." He left shortly after. They got into an argument about the shoes and boots, the three older sisters. A couple days passed, and there was a knock at the door. This time, there were the visiting three men. The man who needed the money, the man who needed some water, and the man who needed the shoes. All three of them were there, and the door flung open. They said to the four daughters, "All of you were given opportunities to be able to serve the impoverished and the poor. You were given opportunities to give money, water, and clothing. 3 of you chose not to give. 3 of you will recognize that your heart needs to change. We are the 3 wizards of the land, and we are not happy with the 3 eldest sisters." They looked at the 4th daughter and replied, "What do you have to say?" She gazed at the men, pleaded, "Please have mercy on them. They don't know and understand what to do. Could you please help them and guide them? Would you maybe help them with their compassion and empathy?" The 3 wizards looked at her with mercy, but they felt that these three sisters had to learn their lessons. The wizards discussed, and each wizard rose each of their right arm up into the sky. As each of them raised their arm, a large mountain formed in the distance. These three mountains were formed in the distant meadow far from the cottage. We will have mercy on you. Although we have created mountains, we will put the three sisters on hilltops. We hope for you to learn how to be compassionate and empathetic. The fourth daughter said, "Well, what about me?" One of the men shared, "We have been refreshed and renewed with your giving spirit. We are now going to put flowing water through this beautiful valley, and it is a testimony to all that you are a symbol of kindness to your family among the mountains. Your empathy has helped many people and helped us. You have fed us, you have clothed us, and you have allowed us to drink. We are grateful for you. The water will have fish in it. It will have insects, it will have wildlife, and it will forever be able to be living off. You will be able to forever live off the land. We will set you in a castle on the edge of this flowing river, and it will go through the valley. Your sisters will be high on mountains, and you will not be set on the mountain because of your heart." The fourth daughter, feeling agony over her selfish sisters being cast onto each of the mountains, fell on her knees. She said to the wizards, "Have mercy on them. Please forgive them." The wizards felt mercy and compassion. The men had mercy. "We will give you dice. Your eldest sister is number 1. Your second eldest is number 2, and your third eldest is number 3. When you roll a 1, 2, or 3 on one of the die, then that sister will come visit you that day. There will be times where you will have 2 sisters visit you. If you roll a 4, 5, or 6, then no sister will visit you. They will be able to learn what it means to be empathetic and compassionate when they come to visit you. We will send a northern eagle to you so that the northern eagle reaches out to them on their mountaintops to tell them it is their time to come visit. We will come visit you every week, and we will ask your sisters about the ways they can show compassion." She said, "Thank you very much for sparing their lives and not turning them into mountains. Thank you so much for teaching me the power of empathy." The 3 wizards smiled. "There will be a day in the coming months where your 3 sisters will enter your castle, and they will be able to stay with you always because they have learned their lesson. They will come to learn about empathy and compassion in their hearts. They will learn about vulnerability and the importance of being able to forgive and love one another." The 3 sisters cried, and they hugged the youngest sister. The eldest sister cried, "We will be back soon." The wizards cast the 3 sisters up to the top of their mountains and set cottages up there with enough food for each of the 3 sisters to eat. The 4th daughter was placed in a castle. After several months, the 3 sisters came to live in the castle with the youngest daughter. They all became empathetic, compassionate, and came to learn to love and show unconditional love to their neighbors. The 3 wizards and the 4 daughters grew to love and care for each other, and the Oak and Eagle Kingdom was a better land because of the daughters and the dice. The end. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for episode 11, The Daughters and the Dice. This is Victoria Woelders, and if you are interested in connecting with me, you can reach out to me at mykidslocker.com, or you can connect with me through LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Spreaker, and you can also find this podcast on iTunes as well as Google Play. Thank you so much for listening to our empathy tale, and as I always say, I hope that you will be able to create compassion one story at a time, like we do with our empathy tales. Thank you so much.
3, 2, 1.